16.
I feel like that's pretty rare.
What? Yeah, well, I don't know, do you think? I guess I'm just getting old. Depends on how old you
Now
are.
I'm thinking about it. I have no idea how long other professors have been here.
Right.
Professor, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm not really sure under requirements. It says the third one. It says locate the footnote to the financial statements.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
So I can show you.
Okay.
Assignments, not on assignment. I need to go to the assignment. All right, so I am going to put you, if you want, into breakout rooms, but before you go, I just want to make sure you know what you're doing here. So the pre-assignment is not required. That was just an optional to maybe try comparing GE to maybe a more fun, interesting company to you, like Walmart or Apple. But the requirement is to do GE. So the in-class assignment is what you're going to do. All right, so what I'm looking for you to find, let's see. So when you go to the SEC website and you type in GE, click on General Electric, and then go to the 10Ks, because I want you to look at the 10K for 2019. All right, and it's right here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now you're looking at the 10K. And so the way that the 10K works, I know it's a long document, but go to the table of contents because that's going to tell you where everything is. So I wanted you to read the management and discussion analysis and get management takes. And so here's so here's your management discussion and analysis, particularly those segmented operations. And then here's your financial statements. And then look at all the notes that come with those financial statements. So I'm looking, so what I said last class is, this is a fairly new pronouncement when you're talking about having these huge companies break them down into segments. So it tends to be in the later footnotes, which it actually is here. So if you look at number 26, it says operating segments, and that's what you're going for.
So all we need to see on the footnote is the number 26.
26 is the footnote that talks about your operating segments. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and when you're there, you'll know you're in the right place because I've done 2017 for you. So you'll be able to see that I have pulled out the revenue and the profit. So you can let me know if you're not finding it. Yeah, so no, today is totally optional. It's just for the people that were busy and didn't have time outside of class. Go ahead, Nana.
Can I have a little more like specific questions?
Okay, so let me put people into breakout rooms, optional breakout rooms. So if you want to kind of discuss it with other people, and then we can chat before you go in. Let's see who's here.
I think Lisa asked if the assignment due by the end of class today.
So it is due, it's actually officially closing at 2:15, I believe, today. Or 2:30 or something like that. Right, so if you want to join a room and you want to kind of have somebody put the financial statements up on the screen and kind of discuss it together, you can do that. I'll make sure that you are connected with somebody that also wants to do that. Okay, go for it, Manna.
Okay, so then I was wondering for like the requirement 8 for the 2-3 sentences. So a lot of things I was like just focusing on was like I was looking at the trend between the 3 years for like.
Yep, yep.
And then I was wondering like for when they asked like potential factors that may have affected them, for like I kind of repeated a lot of things for like each sector except like my like like for the like a lower profit margin. I was saying like their operations were like more effective and like they were doing well like managing their expenses. I was wondering, is that what it's asking or is it?
Well, plus, did you look at the management discussion and analysis? So if you go in, so you have management discussing the different segments. And I mean, you also have just your general knowledge of the healthcare, the renewable energy. You know, so if you're thinking about, you know, if you would go in and you can see why they got into that segment and whether it's performing well or not performing well. And sometimes it's just management, even though you have a segment that is something that is really hot and should be increasing. They just don't know how to do it because they've never done it before. So there's all kinds of factors that come into play. There's no right or wrong answer, you know, so it's just you kind of thinking it through and what, you know, what are you looking at kind of thing.
For instance, like for healthcare, I said like there was like the most stable sector.
Okay.
And like I feel like for potential reason is like there's like more, it's like more niche field than other ones that have like a limited accessibility.
Okay.
So that it's kind of just like partnership and saying something like that. I felt like that.
Yeah, so if you're looking at, I mean, so if you rank them in that last thing that I have you do, where did you rank them?
Healthcare and they're like in second, they're mainly in second for everything except for total revenue.
Yeah, okay, so I rank them as second too. So it's a stronger performing division. And, you know, if you think about healthcare, you know that as the population ages, healthcare is not a bad segment to have, which is one of the reasons why they got into healthcare. Yeah.
And then, sorry, I have one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the last one, I was wondering when it means investors, is it like, so are we in a place that's in like the management or are we outside of it?
So if you are, so what I'm showing you are a couple of things when you look here. You are as an investor, which most people are at this point, we have a lot of finance majors, people that are going to be looking to analyze financial statements to make investment decisions. Then you're going to be looking, so if what I'm just kind of showing you is, don't just look at that consolidated financial statement because that really is just sum up of everything. And it's much easier to see where that company's going or the potential for profit, increased profit, if you can see the segments that they're looking at and see where those segments are going. So that's just kind of the idea. If you're in a management position, you already know that you segment these out. So the idea here is this new FASB is saying that if you run your company by segmenting, which they do, now you have to give investors that information as well, or at least some of it. So actually, that's a really good point, because when you see these segmented income statements, nobody's made a point that it's not in contribution format, right? You'll never get that, because those are kind of closely held secrets. So they usually give it to you in the traditional format. So you're not going to know the margins, because that would be a killer for these companies and their lines. But it still is really helpful for you to do ratios just on the segments to see where it's going.
And if you want us to, I didn't end up doing it on an Excel sheet. I just did it all on a Word document. We just submit the Word document.
Yep, you can, so, yep, you can always, as usual, you can submit it any way you want.
Professor, could I ask a question? Sorry. Yeah, so our team isn't sure if we are supposed to look at page 8, which is segment operations, or note 26, which is operating segments.
Okay, so if you want to, you can tie the segments to the income statement. So, you know, again, beyond, so the idea is this is a parent company which has multiple different segments. So if you wanted to try to tie the revenue to the consolidated income statement, really, I'm telling you, look at the segments and analyze the company by the segments.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Professor?
Yep.
I sorry, my document, actually, I left the pre-assignment on my document. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yes, that's fine.
Sorry, like just came in and asked.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yep, you are good. If you're good, I'm good.
Thank you so much for the semester.
Oh, thank you. It was fun. Made the time fly. It's a good class.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
I'll
Manna.
probably see you around.
Yes, you do. You definitely will. 16 years, 16 more, right, Matt?
Semester because it's been 16 years.
Wait till you're sophomore, right? Wait till junior year. Are you doing core next semester?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna take years off of your life. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good.
Unless I take a gap year.
No, don't do that. This is really not gonna be a very fun day for me.
Professor,
Yeah,
would you mind helping walking me through how to calculate the I'm trying to find the segment revenue for power in 2018. I'm just kind of confused how to do it.
are you on footnote 26?
Footnote 26. I was just on it. Let me. Is there like a label for the footnotes?
Yeah, they're all numbered. So are you in the financial statement?
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
in the MD&A for the 2019 annual.
no, you don't want to be in management discussion. You need to get out, that's before the financial statements. So you want to read the management discussion analysis, and then what you want to do,
Oh,
footnotes.
okay. Okay, I'm in the financial statements.
Yeah, so that's under, it's usually financial statements are under section 8, and then you're going to see all the footnotes that apply to those.
Oh, 26.
Yeah, it
Okay.
should say segmented operations.
Note 26 cost information. This is giving me the customer funded, GE funded, partner funded, and total R&D.
No, you're in the wrong footnote. 26.
Operating segments. There we go.
There you go.
Okay. So it gives me the 2018, 2017, and 2016.
Are you in the right year? It should be 17, 18, and 19.
Doesn't look like it.
All right, so are you looking at my screen?
I am now, yes.
Okay, so where you want, what you want is this 10K right here. It's for the period ending 2019.
Right. I'm on that one, yes.
Okay, so if you're in there, it'll bring you right to the 10K. And then here's the table of contents. Here's your financial statements. And then if you go down all the way to the notes, here are all the notes that go along with those
Mhm.
statements. Number 26 here is operating segments.
Okay. Financial statements.
I believe it's page 113. So if you click on 113, you're gonna get what you're looking for.
It's weird. Maybe I'm not in the right form because page 113 for me is the investment securities.
Yeah, so what year are you looking at?
2019, the annual report, section 1315D, not SK item 405, filing date.
Okay, let me go back and we'll do it so you can watch what I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. The mistake was I was looking at the filing date instead of the reporting date. That's probably the issue.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
reporting date, gotcha. I think it was.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Wrong form. Okay, so page one. It was 113, 116, what you said?
What are you asking? Oh, what page?
Yeah, well, that
Yeah, so,
found it. Got it. Awesome. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
yeah, no,
Professor, there on the document, there's like 2 requirement 6 charts. Are they the same thing?
So requirement 6 is looking at the segments. Right, and then,
Yeah.
yes, all right, so let's see. Yeah, so here I'm just asking you to rank them. So pretty much the same thing. So you're collecting up the data and then you're gonna rank them from best to worst.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Questions in terms of the exam.
Yeah.
How much should we go over like chapter 5 merchandising instead of manufacturing?
Oh, I wouldn't even worry about that.
Will it be the same? I remember you saying something about this, but it will be like the same format as the last midterm, so it's like 40 questions. and 50 minutes.
No, it is 60 questions in 2 hours. So you're going to have, what that means is some more mathematical calculations. But it's still 60 questions in 2 hours. My recommendation is study like it's closed book. Because if you have to look up all those little theory kinds of things, that's going to be the killer. Because I'm assuming that those little questions should be taking you a half a minute to a minute.
Professor, to get net profit margin, you would divide the net income by the total revenue, correct?
Yeah.
Where on the I'm trying to find on the sheet, the financial statement where the net income is.
So you just, it's your, it's right here, right? Your profit.
The profit, right? Okay.
Yeah.
You just divide the profit by the revenue.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Oh, you're
Thank you for this
welcome.
year as well. I wish you were all sort of in person, but I hope you have, do you teach any other classes in like the accounting?
So I don't, but ask for me because I want to. Right? I'm like low man downstairs, you know, upstairs. So yes, so I would love to see you again in future classes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yep, appreciate it.
Is it hard to get into like the upper level accounting courses? Is it, Professor?
Well, I don't have a PhD, you know, which is kind of funny because they all come and ask me accounting questions because I have actual work experience and I know how it works, which to me is,
That's
I
way more
think,
valuable.
way more valuable, right, than a PhD in theoretical. But it depends on how you look at it, you know, so I don't do the research and the writing as much as they do. So, you know, it's like two different things. BU is important because they, you know, that they are that doing that writing and research. But in terms of practical use, you're probably better off having me than somebody that is theoretically trained. But a little mix of both is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Is Professor Saban done working at BU after this year?
Yes,
Is that where he's going?
yes, he's going to, or I don't know if I should say that. Is that like common knowledge, do you know?
I think so, according to his Facebook.
Oh, okay, so he's going to the Harvard Extension School.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
My roommate has his course that's like 3 hours, but once a week.
Yeah,
He does not like it.
oh, really? Because of the length or because
He
of the professor?
he loves it. But just
Yeah.
doesn't like-
Yeah, it's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It is a lot for, so just curious, well, so it's really important to break it up and throw in, like I said, when I do it over the summer, I do a ton of cases to kind of make you work with, you know, in teams and things like that. So it can be really monotonous if somebody's just lecturing to you for 3 hours. But we've had this discussion multiple times, you know, so he thinks I do way too many problems.
Really.
And I think that that is the
That's
way,
what I learned.
that's right. I mean, I could tell you how it is and I can show you how it is, but until you sit down and try it yourself. So it's funny because we have that discussion all the time, so. And he has moved to more problems, so. But he is a great guy. Oh, did you have Saban?
Yeah, I did,
Okay,
back in the day.
back in the day.
Yeah.
It's only been here for 5 years. Back in the day. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think his approach is he gives stories
Yes.
rather than, right? So he tells stories rather than actually doing problems.
That's what my roommate complains about. So I think I should just do the problem.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's a preference, right?
Yeah.
If you can, the idea is if you can tie it to something where it's gonna click with somebody, if so, he's telling a story that is funny or relevant, you'll remember it.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing a problem, you're actually working through the formula, so it's a different approach is what I would say.
I think on like the first day, we had to watch a video on how like cars made.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then from there, we just referenced like pretty much everything back to like a certain process in like manufacturing a car.
Yep. Yep, because he did Ford, right? Was he at Ford?
Yes.
I think he was at Ford. That's funny because, so we talked about this too, because a job that I had when I was at Ernst & Young was, it was an acquisition audit where Textron was acquiring automobile factories. So I also went in and was, looking at and analyzing, Ford was me, but also him at factories that were making automobiles. And it is an eye opener. I mean, for me, it was such an eye opener because those factories where you see people coming in, I remember I was kind of upset about it, that the bell rings and everybody leaves for lunch and the bell rings and everybody comes back in, and they were, it was so controlled, and factories really are controlled. But I remember coming home and telling who's my husband now, you should see how these factories, me growing up around here, you don't see those factories, and he was saying, but you know what, those people are so happy to have those jobs because there's nothing else there, and they're union, and they are, but it's still, when I think about, me going to work and having the ability to kind of figure out what I need to do and where to go, and those workers just kind of coming in, doing what they're doing, constantly being watched in their performance, and then it's a different,
It definitely is.
yeah. Part of the experience when you actually go out there and start to do, and see, like you said, you watch the video, but to see how it actually works day to day is an amazing thing.
My grandfather's in the auto industry, and he was telling me that the coolest thing he ever saw was going to the Toyota plant, because it's so different from like any of the big Detroit
Really?
plants.
Okay.
It's crazy, because ish.
Oh, now I need to go. Go ahead.
He ran a Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram store, like.
Okay,
forever.
yep,
And, well, first it's Chrysler, they have a million different segments, I guess.
Yep.
And he said that he went and saw the Toyota plant, and they call it Mopar, like the rest of the plant.
yep,
They only stopped 2 times in 1 week because of production error. The Toyota plant stops 2,000 times a day. Where
Wow.
Employees who think they could do something better on the part, they can make a part better, or it's a panel gap, and that's why their Toyotas are so reliable.
yeah,
And
interesting.
compared to,
Huh, yeah,
I thought that was so interesting.
that really is interesting, because in my mind, I'm thinking you see one, you've seen them all, but
Yeah.
that's really cool.
I was like, why are they stopping? Why do they keep stopping? I just
Yeah.
don't get it,
So does it slow down production, but it makes them,
It just makes them so much.
more reliable, and they really are.
If you didn't own a American car dealership, he always says not to buy Toyotas. Interesting. But free car's a free car.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. What's better? I did, so I owned a Toyota, and the engine would have lasted probably 500,000 miles. But there were little things in the car that were constantly breaking down. And then when I went to try to get them fixed, they were saying, oh, but we would have to, pull out the whole this, and then it was thousands of dollars to get. So that's the only thing that I didn't like about the Toyota, and I wouldn't buy it again. But like I said, the engine probably would have gone forever. Yeah.
It's incredible. He said that back in the 50s, when he was first starting out, Toyota had such a hard time getting dealerships in the US because no one wanted a Japanese car at that point.
Right.
That they were actually, he got an offer from Toyota. All he had to do was physically pay for the cars. They would waive all the franchising fees and everything, and you just have a Toyota deal.
Yeah,
That
okay,
was $500,000 just to put the name on.
right, right.
He was like, that was the stupidest decision I've ever made.
Well, I remember when I was, right. I remember when I was at these automobile factories. There were some people that I was working with. I owned a Ford, so it was a good thing. But people that owned the Toyotas and the Japanese cars, the union people would just destroy those. And I don't mean destroy like damage, but they'd stick like the things on top of the antennas, you know, the ball that says, you know, buy American, and they had windshields covered with things. It was really kind of funny. Every day, anybody that was parked in that lot that did not have a Ford or an American car, they were all over it.
Really?
Yeah, it was really kind of funny. Yeah, earnings is your earnings. Earnings is your income. That's for you, Wendy, but I'll type it to you.
Yeah, he actually said the best part of the price of dealership is because it cars have so many loopholes in warranty. Or that's what they call it money.
Oh, really?
It's just because they're always.
Yeah, okay, that's not good. Then you don't get the business, the repeating business though.
The only thing that he says saving the dealer in sales is cheap.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's literally the only way we sell.
Okay,
Because who buys a car?
right, that's true. It wouldn't even dawn on me to look.
They make like 3 models. It's just cheap and the Ram pickup trucks.
But I've driven a Ford my whole life, just because that's what I think my father knew how to fix them, and so we always had them. And my husband just recently bought a really nice BMW, and I said, no, I'm keeping, and now I'll take his car every chance I can get, because it's so nice to drive.
My grandpa always said when he retired, he wanted to buy a jet.
Yeah, that was the other, those are expensive to fix too, but yes,
Never ended up doing that, but still got time.
yeah, exactly. Plenty of time. I want a convertible Jag, but
We had one in 1951.
okay,
That was a 40s, one they made up before the war,
yep.
maybe 30s.
My son just bought a convertible Porsche.
Really?
Yeah, that's a really nice car. It's not, it's an old, it's a vintage.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool. It's blue with a light interior, and he said it's just really fun to drive. I do too much commuting still. I can't do, I'm not paying for it. I have a hybrid.
Yeah.
I'll probably, I don't know, I'm thinking my next one might be electric.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have to be. We'll see. Still looking at the Tesla. I don't know. I still don't believe Tesla is real, but.
They only made more money off of Bitcoin last quarter than the cars that they sold.
Well, right. So that's, I mean, yeah, so that's exactly. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure about Tesla. All right, Matt, in 4 sections, you tied with 2 other people for having the most in-class participation.
Really?
I just summed it all up.
It's good news.
Yep.
I think that's also just a common person.
Well, it helps. You can't get away from me. I'm so used to going.
Yeah. It's just easier for me to just go like that.
Well, right.
Find this stupid thing to raise my hand
Yep.
on Zoom and.
Yeah. you know, this is all set. You don't have to stay. I only have 9 people left.
Yeah.
Actually, is it time anyway? Yes, past time.
Professor,
Yeah.
this is our last class, right?
This is your last class.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for the whole semester.
Yes, my pleasure.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right, so anybody else that is left, this has to be submitted by, I believe, 2:15 or something like that. It'll say it under the assignment tab.
Thank you, Professor.
Yep. Yes, thank you.